Okay, so today's video is a October Halloweeny vlog, basically. I probably won't do another vlog. It's just because it's Halloween. I thought I'd just show you some of the books I'm reading this month. I guess not just like books I'm reading, but books I've bought this month as well, like journals and things. So the first book I'm reading that's Halloweeny spooky is A Natural History of Ghosts. So this essentially looks at real accounts of ghost stories or paranormal experiences from people that to this day have not been like debunked, and just things that this person has kind of investigated over their time as well, Roger Clark. And so far it's really interesting. They've gone down the angle of like classism as well a little bit. It's subtle, but it's there. So I find that really interesting as well, because that is something I would like typically read. Like I tend to read things like that. So it's something I like about it. But I haven't finished, but I'm like a quarter of the way. There, you can see. So yeah. I'm also reading The Ghost Cat, so I decided to get very ghosty ones this month. And I have mixed feelings about this one. I keep crying. It's very sad. It makes me sad, so that's why I have mixed feelings. They describe the cat's death day, which it makes me miserable. Like, wait, let me start again. So I just wanted to pop on here quickly and say that my opinion of this book now is that it's amazing and it's one of my favourites, because now I've actually finished reading it. So I shouldn't have, jumped to a conclusion about it before I'd actually finished reading it, but I really like this one. So it essentially goes over this cat's time-travelling experiences as it gets to live out its 9 lives as a ghost, and it travels through time to Scotland to see important like historical points, and then also you kind of get to keep an eye on the pet owner of the cat as well a little bit and see how her life turned out. And then you also see the cat's final moment, because obviously it dies initially in the first few pages so that it can become a ghost cat. Then you see its owner die, and that was actually really sad, and then you see it die properly at the end. But in the way that it's jumping through time, and it's like time is dragging on and on and on, it's almost like this is a relief for the cat to finally do what it loves to do and do what it always wants to do, which is sleep, and it gets to do that now forever, so it's like seen as a positive thing. And I just thought this was really sweet. I loved it, very much my vibe. And I've been struggling with my enjoyment of books for a while, especially since sixth form and university, because every single classic is always really traumatic to read. So everything on the curriculum kind of slowly worked to break my interest in reading, and I've been trying to like crawl back to enjoying books again, and I feel like this one really sold it for me and really like made me enjoy books again. There was one that I thought would be the one. Bitch, I was wrong. It was another trauma book. And I didn't know it was set up different. But yeah, anyway, I fully changed my mind. I really like the cat's narrative, and I like the 3 years where it plays, because for 3 years it stays, for 3 years it strays, and 3 years it plays. And I like the play one, because then I feel like you're fully seeing like the cat personality, at least what's more similar to my cat anyway. So yeah, really liked this one. Fully changed my mind about it being, it might be a little bit boring in the beginning, but as it gets on, it's interesting, and the boring part serves a purpose to show that the cat is ready to get out of here, so, it serves an important purpose. Also, to cover things I got for Halloween, I got this cup, which I'm using now. Anyway, bye. Its pet owner doesn't know it's going to die, obviously, and it's like that aspect of seeing her like through the narrator's lens of like pottering about, getting on with her business, not realising this is a really important moment and you have to spend all of it with this cat, but you're not going to do that because you think it's an ordinary day, so she just goes on doing her thing. And that made me so sad, because it's like you don't like know when the last moments are coming, and even though you're like, you might walk over and be like, hey, and pet them and stuff, if you'd known, you would have spent like every single second with them, and she can't because she doesn't know. So like that was really sad as well. And also she was like partly to blame for its death a little bit, like because I think she had like lead on her hand or something, because this was like the Victorian period. So it's like a Victorian cat basically. Spoiler alert. And I'm going to be talking about spoilers in this book. And the cat is then, because it basically died wrongfully, because there's like a cat god who like decides when it's time for a cat to pass and then helps them move on to their next life and stuff. But it was called away on business, and it recounts a real event that actually happened where someone tried to summon like the god of cats and ended up burning the house down. And so it actually used that as a part of the plot, which I thought was fun as well, like a bit interesting. Obviously not the real life event, but you know, I found it interesting that they've incorporated that into this fiction. I love the name for the cat, and I'm about a quarter way through this one as well, but I keep stopping reading it because there's like a heavy focus on important figures in history. I'm not really interested in like knowing that, so I find that a little bit tedious and hard to kind of get through, and why would this cat care kind of thing. But I do really appreciate the cat's like responses and narrative through it, but I just don't really care about like the characters that have been introduced besides the cat and the owner thus far. So those are the two I'm reading at the minute. I'm not reading more than that at the minute because I need to work through those first. And then I also bought some stuff. So I actually bought this one a while ago, but I'm using it now. It's like a little tarot journal, but I'm using it as like an actual journal, which I thought was kind of spooky. I then also got this ghost notebook from TK Maxx. I think it was like a $5, and it comes with this really cute ghost pen. And I also got this one from TK Maxx. It's this velvet kind of notebook with a snake on it, and it's like greeny blue, like teal, kind of a little bit light teal, and it's got a rose gold divider. It's got 3 of these actually, as you can see on the bottom. And then the side has kind of got these ridges, which I like. I'm using this as a bit of a research book for ghosty things, and I feel like I need facts. So while I'm reading the natural history of ghosts, I'm jotting down any facts that I find interesting. As you can see, I've got like my little notes. I just put down like types of ghosts in there. This I thought was really interesting. So it says, well, I mean, I'm going to bring it up in my other video, but it says here that poltergeists are often violent energies connected to a focused person, generally a teenager, usually a girl, from a council estate, which I thought was so interesting because that makes sense to some of my personal experiences. I also put the appearance of a white bird at windows can be seen as a symbol of death, like in the Victorian period, which I thought was interesting because typically I would say we don't, I personally haven't heard that. I've usually heard like crows are like an omen of death. So I find it interesting to see how things have changed from like the Victorian period to now, because it's strange, isn't it? Like people just say things, don't they? Like, because it's like one day it's a white bird, now you're saying it's a crow. Like, make up your mind. And then you have to work to destigmatize that because you're like, can everyone stop thinking this bird is like a negative thing? So it's like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, so these are all the books and notebooks that I have for this month. I'm not going around buying notebooks all the time, by the way. I was in need of them. She says with loads of notebooks she's not used yet, but I needed them. So okay, now we're gonna be going out with me via this vlog to watch the outdoor cinema, so enjoy the montage.
Check. Mystery. You all seem rather cheery. Good news, I hope.
Mr. Monaghan